Alright, this is part 2, JCTheSniper's review of the Russian Makarov PM service pistol. So we've talked about size, weight, firepower. We'll talk about durability. Durability for this pistol is really good. It's really good. I'd say the durability is excellent on this particular pistol because it is all steel. It's just going to take a long time to wear out, and they hold up well. This is a World War II era pistol, and as you can see, it's in good condition. You know, really good condition. So they hold up well, just like most Russian weapons. You know, the AK-47. I would put this with the AK-47 in reliability. This is a pistol that's pretty much going to chug away every time you pull that trigger. It's just going to keep going. Very good durability. And along with that comes reliability. Very good reliability also. It's an external hammer design, and it moves from double action to single action. So, you know, that double action trigger is very reliable. The springs are of a good weight, and they're very strong. It's blowback operated, so, you know, there's not a whole bunch of gas stuff to foul up or anything. It's just as simple as you can make a pistol. Round blows the slide back, another round pops up, slide goes forward, trigger goes off, hammer slaps the bullet. You know, that's about it. It's very durable, very reliable. Accuracy, not too great. As you can, well, you probably can't see very well. Let's see if I can get it to come in. No. You can't really see the sights there because they are non-contrasting metal. You can see that front blade a little bit. It's tiny. That front blade is tiny. And that does minimize the profile, but I don't like it. Look at the Glock 19. Much bigger blade on that front sight post. And of course dots. We have dots on the Glock. You know, depends on what sights you put on it, but that, I think, and you should too, is a whole lot easier to see than the crap we got going on with this. Non-contrasting metal. I can't even find it in the camera. So, you know, non-contrasting metal, maybe a little bit of a hit there, just because you can't see it very well. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to do. And also, these are non-replaceable sights. You may be able to replace the rear one because it can drift back and forth to adjust. Front blade you're stuck with. That is actually part of the slide. So unless you replace the slide, that is there for good. So that's a little bit of an issue, I think, especially for, well, really for any use of a pistol except for a range gun or a plinker. You're going to want something you can see, because if you're shooting at people, you got to be able to see. You may be shooting in low light conditions, you know. And could you point that? Yeah, you could point and shoot, but it's not optimal. So, you know, adequate in most self-defense situations, yeah, but not ideal. So, I don't like them. I don't care for those sights. And the accuracy's just not real good. It just isn't. I mean, you can't shoot tight groups with this pistol. Not very good accuracy. Is it accurate enough for, you know, 7 yards, 15 yards, hitting a silhouette, a torso? Yeah, you can hit a torso. But you're not going to be putting them in the dude's eyes, you know. You're not going to, bam, oh, I got you in the eye, man. No. Not going to happen. Not that that's all that important when you're in a self-defense situation, but having an accurate pistol does help. Because if you're already shaking a little bit, and you're off a little bit, and then the pistol's off a little bit, you could miss your target altogether. So we prefer an accurate pistol. This one is not. You know, it's decently accurate, but it is not great accuracy. It's nowhere near the standards of the Glock. This is a much, much, much more accurate pistol. Longer sight radius. You can see that sight is mounted forward in the frame even, and it's a shorter frame. So that Glock has about, you know, it's got about 1 inch more sight radius actually when you put them next to each other. About 1 inch more on that. And that makes a difference. especially since that has much better sights than this. So the crappy sights, shorter sight radius, not a very long barrel, very short barrel actually. It's just not as accurate. So that's kind of a hit for me. Ease of use, ergonomics, controls. The ergonomics are actually pretty good of this pistol. It has a little bit more straight up and down than the Glock. You can see that grip angle is more straight up and down with this. Closer to a 1911 style. So if you like the 1911 grip angle, you'll probably like the grip angle on the Makarov, because it's very similar. Yeah. These grips are not the standard grips. These are something the owner has put on. Again, this is not my pistol. But I like them, you know. I like that thumb ramp. It works pretty well. But the pistol itself is actually pretty good. That fits your palm quite nicely there, the back of the pistol. And you can get a pretty good grip on that, and it kind of locks in here with the, you know, the type of beaver tail thing almost you got going on there. You can lock in pretty good, and that's good. The trigger guard is well designed. Your fingers away from it when you're pulling, so that's a good thing. Very hard trigger pull, especially for that first pull. You know, it's a very hard trigger pull. So just, I don't know, it's a strong pull, and that's how a lot of Russian things are designed. Very strong trigger pulls. So you may or may not like that, but this does transition. It's a double action, single action pistol. So, you know, once again, this is empty. There you go. See, transfers this. So you pull the trigger the first time, pop, pop. Once you pull that trigger the first time, slide comes back, bam, locks it back. Then you just gotta pop it, and then it's not a problem. Of course, that double action pull is hard, but double action pulls are hard. If you cock it back, you got some take up, and then your trigger pull. Trigger pull is actually quite crisp after that take up. You know, it's not bad. So it's not going to be too hard to shoot this particular pistol. You got to get used to that transition from double action to single action. I'm not a big fan of that, but you know, once you get used to it, it's good, and you may already be used to that. So some people like it, some people don't. The safety, there's a slide mounted safety. I'm not a fan of a slide mounted safety or any safety at all. I prefer the Glock style internal passive safeties that are all deactivated with the trigger pull. So, you know, it's just easier to use under stress than this. However, that being said, it's not a bad safety. It also functions as a hammer drop, as you can see there. And when you have the safety on, you cannot rack the slide, you cannot pull the hammer back, you can't pull the trigger. So, you know, it locks all your mechanisms, which I think is actually not a bad feature, because there's no way, you know, pretend this is a Beretta M9. When the safety's on, you can pull that trigger, and the trigger just keeps going. So in a stressful situation, it's possible that you could pull. Why is my gun not firing? Oh no. This gun, you won't be able to pull, you won't be able to rack, you can't cock the hammer. You got to take your safety off so you can function all those things. So, I don't think that's a bad thing. However, I don't like it. I don't like having safety. I prefer, you know, a safety's a good thing on some pistols, but for a pistol I'm going to use for self-defense, I'd prefer not to have one. Just because it's easier to have passive safeties, pull it out, point the thing, bang, shoot them. So, I just don't like that. Alright, we're going to have to go to part 3.